Okay, get yourself ready for your practice. So ideally have a blanket to cover over your usual mat, just to give you real comfort. Sorry, Jeff. Have a bolster for underneath your knees. Have a folded blanket for underneath your head. And a couple of blocks for underneath your feet. So if you haven't got that equipment, just whatever you do have will be fine. The bolster underneath your knees is just a really good way to help you to relax your back and allow yourself to release into the floor. So just rest down into the floor and just focus on the complete joy of the floor supporting the physical body. Just soften your jaw and your tongue and your throat. And just allow yourself to just relax into the floor. Give yourself permission to relax. Observe how your body connects to the ground. Observe how your body is supported by the bolster and the blocks under your feet and the blanket under your head. You can always cover your eyes with an eye pillow or just a flannel or just something to block out the light if you want to. If you don't have anything, don't worry. Just allow your body to release down into the floor. Soften your jaw and your tongue and your throat. Just ensuring that you feel comfortable on the ground. Just grounding your energy. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet. Drawing your consciousness into the soles of your feet. Drawing your attention into the soles of the feet, and then let the sole of the foot gently relax. Just relaxing into the bone and the muscle. Relax the muscle and the bone and the skin, so that the sole of the foot tingles with consciousness and softness. Draw your attention into the top of the foot. So that the skin and the muscle tingles with consciousness. And then relax the top of the foot. Just letting the skin and the muscle and the bone completely relax. And then draw your attention into the shins. Becoming conscious of the skin of the shins and the muscle and the flesh and the bone. the shin bones sink into the bed of the calf muscle, letting the skin of the shins completely relax. Draw your attention into your kneecaps. The skin and the bone and the ligaments and the flesh around the kneecap. Allow the kneecap to soften like butter melting into something warm, sinking into the back of the knee. Relaxing the kneecaps and then drawing your consciousness into the thighs. And then allow the fronts of your thighs to sink into the backs of your thighs. Sinking the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs, sinking the fronts of the knees into the backs of the knees, the shins into the calves, softening the thighs and the shins and the top of the foot and the underside of the foot so that the legs completely release into the floor. Draw your attention into your pelvis. Feeling the legs just laying into the floor, heavily pressing into the floor without any effort. And then draw your attention into the pelvis. And then completely relax pelvis. And then completely relax the pelvis into the floor. Draw your consciousness into the abdomen and into the torso. Observing the rise and the fall of the abdomen as you inhale and exhale. Drawing your attention into the abdomen and into the torso, and then completely relaxing the muscles around the rib cage and the abdomen, just sinking your body into the floor. And then draw your attention into your shoulders and into your upper arms and into your forearms and into your hands, just bringing consciousness into the arms and the shoulders. Just releasing the torso and the arms and the hands and the fingers into the floor. Just allowing the arms to settle into the floor, relaxing the muscles of the arms. Just feeling the lightness of your body releasing into the ground. And then relax the arms and the elbows and the forearms, and the hands just resting into the straight line of the floor. Drawing your consciousness up into the throat and into the forehead. Relax around the shoulders and the throat, and soften the skin around the face. Just allowing the body to completely relax. Softening around the eyes, feeling as though your skin stretches from the crown of the skull down towards the neck. Basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. Feeling tingling sensation of relaxation. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. And then bend your knees, just bring your feet onto the bolster. Just stay down on the floor for a moment or two, just resting your back into the floor. And then gently roll over onto your side, just onto your right side. And then straighten out the top leg, bring yourself up into a seated position, just holding onto your knees, just observe how your energy has changed. And then just get your folded blanket, and so if it's folded like a pillow, it's like an eighth fold. Just unfold it like this, then put it onto the floor, and then fold it down the long end, so you get this kind of thick, kind of narrow bolster, and that's going to go for your shoulders. Take the blocks away for your hands, for your feet. Sorry, get hands and feet all over the place, and then this is going to support your shoulder blades. So you're just going to come back down onto the floor with the bolster underneath your knees, the blanket, the folded blanket, just supporting the shoulder blades, and then rest your arms over your head for the mountain brook pose. If your hands don't reach the floor because of stiff shoulders, then put some blocks underneath your hands. Otherwise, just lay yourself down along the floor. Just feel the distinct opening of the chest. You can just put something under your head if it feels like it's significantly rolling back. But the folded blanket underneath your shoulder blade region, so that the chest really opens up nice and wide. Remember, if you're not comfortable in the pose, then you can just adjust until you are comfortable. Comfort is paramount here. So for the rest of the practice, I'll be more quiet so that you can just concentrate on relaxation rather than listening. Okay, bring your arms to the side of the body. Just rest your hands on your lower ribs for a moment. Bring your feet onto the bolster and then just very gently roll yourself off onto the right side and then sit yourself up, just coming back up into the seated position. Just observe how your energy has changed, that lightness of energy around the shoulders and the chest. So the changes in your energy can be really quite profound. Okay, so get your blanket and unfold it so it's like this. So a long, kind of narrow folded blanket, and then just fold it long ways down the center. Again, just trying to make it as neatly folded as you can, and then fold it down the center again. So you've got this little narrow, fairly chunky little bolster. So make sure that that is right in the middle of your mat and you're not too close to your bolster, because you're going to come down onto your back. This is our little spinal lengthening pose. So you're not going to sit right on top of the bolster at the folded blanket at this stage. You're just going to have the bolster underneath your knees and then lengthen yourself along that little folded blanket, and then get the end and then roll up the end for a little pillow for your head, and then just adjust the position until it feels comfortable. So you don't want it digging into the sacrum. Just make sure that your back feels comfortable on the bolster, on the little folded bolster, and then the bolster underneath your knees. Just, I always find that if you bring the bolster down to the backs of the calves a little, it just encourages that sensation of length in the spine. Just experiment with where to put it. This is a spinal lengthening pose, so it gives the sensation of lengthening the spine. Remember, if you aren't comfortable, then don't just suffer in discomfort. Make sure that you adjust your position so that you become comfortable. Because with no comfort, there is no relaxation. And then gently bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, and then very gently roll yourself off the bolster, stretching out the top leg, coming back up onto your seat bones, and then just again observe your energy, just the lightness of your energy that flows through the spine and into the limbs. Okay, so just take your blanket, just unfold it, and then just fold it into a little cushion shape. So just a little cushion for your head for later. So we're going to do the next pose with 2 bolsters. If you haven't got 2 bolsters, then I'll give you some variations on how to do this. So you want 2 blocks, one like this and one like that. And then we're going to create a little ramp. If you haven't got extra blocks, and if you haven't got an extra bolster, then you can just have this bolster just directly on the floor like that. But on the little ramp is better because it kind of keeps the brain quiet. So have the bolster on a ramp like that. Then if you've only got 1 bolster, that's the bolster that you want. Then the second bolster is going to come underneath your knees. So if you haven't got a second bolster, then just get some cushions, just put them underneath your knee. And then you're just going to lift yourself up. Sorry, well, not really lift yourself up, you can stay on the floor, but you're going to lift the chest and then just guide yourself down along the bolster. If you feel like your head could do with a little bit of extra cushioning, have a blanket underneath your head. So the fish pose, Matsyendrasana. So just get yourself comfortable, just make sure you're comfortable along the floor. If you've only got 1 bolster, have the bolster underneath your back, and then just find some cushions underneath your knees. So you can have the bolster underneath the backs of the second bolster underneath the backs of the thighs, just to allow the body to really rest into the pose. And then without disturbing yourself too much, push yourself up into a seated position. Just move the bolster out from underneath you. Keep the bolster for underneath your knees. Have the blanket underneath your head. Just coming back for the last couple of minutes in our basic relaxation pose. Just back down onto the floor. Just releasing into the ground. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, just bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then just bend your knees, bring your feet back onto the bolster, knees together. And then very gently roll over onto your right side. Straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Just draw your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this evening, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the relaxation poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then very gently release the chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees. knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger onto the tip of the thumb. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really re-energized your mind and your body, and you're full of good, positive energy to put into your evening. So thank you very much for joining me.